Okay, this interview, okay, I blame on the shoulders of Jay from Cardboard East because he is incredibly enthusiastic about origami, and he said, Paco, you have to go there and talk to these people because they make incredible games. So here I am with Daryl to talk about origami games. Well, firstly, did you pronounce it origami or origame?
That's kind of a game in itself. I mean, there's at least three different pronunciations. It's up to you.
Which one did you prefer, though?
I like the word game because it's original games, basically. It's like yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Origame. Where does the company come from, and how long have you been, working and trading and making games?
Okay, so Origame is from Singapore. You can tell that we're very proud of being Asian and being Singaporean from our games. We try to convey a lot of the culture and the stories from Singapore and Asia in our games. I mean, to us, the games are kind of a vehicle to express culture and to share our stories with the rest of the world. I mean, Singaporeans too, of course, but with everyone.
How long have you been playing games? Because you look like a gamer to me.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a gamer. About almost 20 years now.
Okay.
I've been designing for over 10 years. I started my game design career in Canada. I had lots of great mentors and colleagues when I was there. And so I learned a lot from some of the best designers in the world. I mean, in my opinion. And I've been lucky to have lots of very good design advice along the way. I've been designing. I was designing before I started Origame. And so I actually now I have about 20 published games in total around there, and for Origame I have about 10 over 10 games. Yeah.
So that's quite a number. That's quite an achievement to have done. What led you to create Origame instead of continuing working for other people and making games for other companies?
Yeah. So. I wanted to be able to tell. I mean, as I mentioned just now, tell culture through games, and a lot of the other companies, I don't have the control. Like if I want to make a Singaporean game, no one's going to make it. You know what I mean? So, I had to kind of take the leap of faith by myself and say, this is important to me, and I think other people would like to see this in the game too, and so I'm going to make games about it, about these things that are important to me. And so we kind of started from there, and I mean, people in Singapore, they are very supportive of our games, and I mean, it's not just Singapore. We make games about Korea, soon other countries as well. And being a publishing company, I started off as a game designer, but as I make more and more games, I'm also very involved in the art direction and the information design and things like that. So I think I consider myself more of a game maker now, not just a designer. And I think as you play the games, you can kind of see stuff that I did to make the gamer's life more like information design, small things. We really pay attention to every aspect of the game when we make it.
So tell me about your games, because I can see that there is a huge combination of games all over here, and they all look absolutely fantastic and very, very colorful on the table. Tell me about your games.
Okay, so we actually have a wide range of games. I started off as actually more of a strategy gamer, heavy gamer, like Artemis Project and Into Deep, like 2-3 hour games. But for our line, we don't have those yet. They are mostly family-friendly games, but they're not. But the family games that that gamers can enjoy. Okay. We have some, so we have like difficulty levels on our games. I would say like some even like 6-year-olds can play. at the lower end, and then on the higher end, I think it would be probably about like a light Euro kind of feel. Yeah, so we try to make a nice range of games. Next year, I think we're going to have a look, go back to my roots and do more gamer style games. Yeah.
Tell me about each game. Let's start with Buffet Boss. That looks delightful and very, very cool. What is Buffet Boss all about?
Okay, so Buffet Boss is actually a game that we just launched on Kickstarter, not even 24 hours. I think.
And how is it doing?
I think okay. I think it's about half funded now.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah, and it's I mean, I think I was talking about family and kids games. So this is a game that I think kids can really enjoy because it's very bright and colorful, and it's a dexterity game, but it's also has a bit of strategy because the picking of the pieces is like drafting. So that's kind of like a gamer mechanic, but in a much more relaxed setting. So you have to pick it, but after you draft it, you still have to stack it on your plate. So you have to find the synergy between all the different pieces and stack it. The tallest plate will get bonus points, so you try to stack it high. And then you have characters that want to eat different types of food. So you try to find the pieces that give you bonus points as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Simple, but there's actually interesting choices. I think that probably can describe most of the game. I think all of the games at Origame.
Okay. When is the production going to be done? Because if you've been for 24 hours and it's halfway there, this game is going to fund. Yeah. So when is the fulfillment going to take place?
I think probably early next year.
Okay. So no bad at all. That's very quick.
Yeah. I mean, we're already in talks with the manufacturers, all of our specs, okay. and we talk to them quite often. So they have everything ready to go once.
Perfect. That's amazing. Okay. Next one. Mooncake Master. I mean, this looks so appetizing. What is Mooncake Master?
Actually, I think this game, 3 years ago, Origame is about 3 years old. This was our very first game. And so the very first time I came to Spiel, I brought this, and my friend Dan brought it back to Spain, and he said that I think it was a convention in Malaga, and I think they had a lot of fun with this game. And even till now, I really enjoy it. So it's a game about drafting mooncake tiles, and you put it together like a puzzle. And the mooncakes, you have to fulfill certain requirements for customers, but you also need to make it beautiful. So like you need to match the colors, you need to match the yolks. Yeah, that's basically Mooncake Master. There's only like 10 copies left of this one. Wow. Because we're planning a reprint in a smaller box.
So this is going to become like some sort of collector's edition because...
Yeah, maybe. Because people who like this game really love it. And some of them actually bought extra copies.
Okay, so people can look forward to seeing a new edition of this game, smaller box, more compact. Perfect. Okay, next. Alpha Beast Attack. I mean, this looks fantastically fun. What is it? Okay,
so this one could be my personal favorite because I really like word games. And this word game is unique because it's cooperative word game. So it solves a lot of problems with word games. The main problem being that usually the player who is better at words will win. But because it's co-op, you need to work together. So even if you're really good and your fellow players are not as good, you're going to have some problems fighting. But there's ways for players to discuss and help each other. So it's actually really good for like parents and kids, for example. But yeah, I really enjoy it because usually another cool thing is that you don't need all the letters to make your word. There are some letters, you need to think of a word that has these letters rather than you use the letters to make the word. Okay. So that twist makes it a lot more, like you really use your brain a lot more than regular word games, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
The artwork is fantastic. Why did you go for that kind of look and feel, which is whimsy and fun and funny? Okay,
so the artist told me that she chose this style because I told her about what I wanted to do, because I handled a lot of the art direction now, as I mentioned. I wanted to have like an epic feel because you're fighting against these alpha beasts that are attacking the world. So she chose a framework that looks like the Attack on Titan, like a famous Japanese anime. Yeah. So she kind of did that feeling. Yeah.
Way more fun. How long does it take to play and what ages?
So this one is about 20 to 30 minutes, and I mean, so we have different modes. So if you play with kids actually, and you take out all the hard cards, you can play I think as young as six or seven.
Brilliant. So a game for the whole family. Love it. Next one. Kopi King. That coffee?
Yeah. So this kopi is coffee in Bahasa, in which is Malay. So in this game, it's actually a speed game. You're trying to find all the ingredients for your drinks. So there's basically ingredient cards face down on table. You're just rushing to grab. This is probably our least, like you don't have to think at all. It's just like a speed dexterity game. But in Singapore, it does really well. It's a best-selling game in Singapore.
So I guess this is a favorite with baristas who like to prepare drinks. I mean, I would love to play that.
The funny thing is, there's actually someone who set up a coffee shop, and he bought this game to help him train his the people making coffee.
Wow, no, that is amazing. So how does he play?
So you have all the ingredient cards face down on the table, and you have 2 order cards, and you just need to grab stuff to put on the order cards to match. And then you try to match as much as you can. And when one player has 5 orders, they just shout close shop, and then we count points. Super simple.
Next to nothing. So this plays in just a few minutes.
Yeah, sometimes it can be like less than 5 minutes.
Okay, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's a really good game for when you're actually waiting for your coffee to arrive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, Plantopia, another ginormously fun-looking game. I mean, these characters are just fantastic. What is this all about?
Okay, so Plantopia was kind of like our introduction to the world because it's our first project that we launched on Kickstarter. We got about 5,000 backers, which was, I think, really good. I don't think, I mean, if all of our projects can hit 5,000 backers, it would be amazing. But the game is really fun. It's kind of like a simple version. I mean, just to kind of quickly give the feeling, it's like a simple version of Race for the Galaxy, where you have some simultaneous play, but also tableau building. So you take the plants and you try to grow them. And there's a lot of combos in terms of scoring, and also all the plants every single plant has a different special power or ability that triggers when you play it. So players who like this kind of like card games will love Plantopia.
That sounds excellent. Okay. Durian Dash. Okay,
so durians are a very popular, it's probably the most popular fruit in Singapore and Malaysia. I can't think of a counterpart in the Western world. I don't know, maybe avocado, I'm not sure. But there's many different types of durians in Singapore. And I wanted to kind of use this game as an introduction to the different types of durians also. So you learn a lot about the different durians in the game. But the mechanics are similar to like 6 named, like the classic German card game. Take 6 named. But with a lot more with a lot more control and decisions. There's a row of durians, and you simultaneously play action cards. The lowest will go first. But usually the ones who go lower, they take less durians, and the ones who go later will take, the greedier ones will take more, but they'll go later. So it's kind of like a balance between going fast or going slow. Okay. Yeah.
So that sounds like a bit more tactical game.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Kopi King. I mean, in general, all card games are very simple. You can learn them in 5 minutes or so.
Awesome. Now we have over there as well Walk and Roll. which looks super cool. Walk and roll, what is that?
Okay, so Walk and Roll it's the best selling game at the Spiel right now. It's a dice game where you run your own Chinese restaurant. So if you roll the dice, but I guess the catch is that there's some dice that you can use and some dice that other people can use. So the interaction is there. So you try to re-roll to to deny other players, but also kind of making stuff for yourself. So there's a bit of tension there. You want to roll really good, you give everyone good stuff, or you try to manipulate the dice such that other players don't have such good stuff and you get good stuff. So, but there's a lot of combos and a lot of training. So if you like that kind of like a gun-strong, clever type of game, I think you definitely enjoy Walk and Roll.
How long does it take to play?
About 30 minutes. The simple menu plays a bit faster, maybe 20 plus minutes. But actually, each of the Walk and Roll comes with 2 separate games. So like Walk and Roll, the base game has a simple and expert menu. And then expansion, Korean Wave, also has two pretty different menus. So if you buy the base game and expansion, you're basically getting 4 games. Every menu is different, has its own quirks and mechanics, and different ways to win.
Tell me a little bit about the artwork, because you've gone a lot more, I guess, traditional with the look. I don't know, it looks very different from the colorful and the character-driven from the other games. Why did you decide to change the look and feel of the games so completely from anything else that you've done?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, people who are not in Singapore may not know this. In fact, some people in Singapore may not know it. But the color scheme that we use, it looks like a takeaway box from a Singaporean Chinese restaurant. It's like red and white, very traditional style. So we wanted to do that in the same way that this actually looks like a box of mooncakes in Singapore. So we want the look and feel of the game to match the theme and the mechanics of the game as well. So that's the reason why we have like a monochrome red and white scheme.
That is a very interesting detail. And we have Reef Rescue, which is much more a little cube box. It's a departure in terms of production from pretty much anything else, because this box is very different.
Yeah, so actually, I mean, if you notice, we only have 2 sizes.
Yeah.
So the card games, which are the same size, and then the square box games, which are also all the same size. Yeah. And this is our new line of cubes. I call it the cube series of games. I really like it. I mean, you can feel it.
Yeah, this is meaty.
Yeah, it really feels nice. It's like you want to do like a Rubik's cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same size actually. You can fit the Rubik's cube just nicely into here. Well, I want to make a line of games that non-gamers can look at it and be like, "What's this? This looks interesting." And because they're small, they don't look like they're difficult to learn, and they aren't. But the gameplay is still a lot of interesting decision making and things like that. So I think, especially in Asia, we try to make products, not just games, products that not just gamers can enjoy. Okay. So this one, we really love it because it's like exploring the ocean when you open the box also.
So how does it play? What is the game all about?
Okay, so this game is a mix of push your luck, memory, and some light strategy, some decision making. So you have an ocean of tiles, right, and then you have 2 action tiles where you you can choose any of these 2 actions to go and explore the ocean. But the twist is, once you finish this action, you flip it around. So you can only use it once you do that other action. So the timing of when you do actions is actually really important for Reef Rescue. So yeah, as I mentioned, a mix of push your luck, memory. I know a lot of gamers don't like memory, but I've seen people who don't, they can still manipulate the board without relying on memory, and they can still win the game.
Okay. Now, what's next? I mean, what are your plans for the future? Because apart, of course, from buffet boss, which is going to do very well and get funded in the next few hours. What's next?
Okay, I mean, I think I kind of touched on it, but we are planning more gamer games in the future. We really want to, of course, I think that's kind of we try to fill all the holes in our catalog so that, when people come to our booth, they're like, what kind of games do you like to play? And we basically introduce them. But yeah, we're continuing to make games that have interesting stories, themes. As I mentioned, I really like this box, so we're going to have another 3 games in this box that I've already designed. Besides Buffet Boss, the one that I'm really looking forward to is a game about orchids. Okay. It's a card game about orchids, and it's very simple to play, but it has a lot of interesting decisions. It feels like a very gamer game, but it's very simple.
You're going to be very busy.
I mean, I'm always busy.
Okay, and now the question that I have to ask, and I think I am going to know the answer. If people want to get these games, of course at Spiel they are available, yes. But after Spiel, for people who are not at the show, how can they buy your games?
Okay, so we have retailers in Europe and in North America, but not very many. It's mostly retailer fans of us. The easiest way is to go to our website, origame.co, to buy. I think the shipping recently has been kind of expensive, but I think it's okay, because shipping is,
it is pretty difficult at the moment. Yeah,
it's difficult for everyone. So,
yeah.
But yeah, origame.co, and you can check on our website to see if there are retailers in your area.
Let's hope that more retailers come to all the areas, because these are looking absolutely amazing. Daryl, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck with the Kickstarter, which I'm sure is going to do incredibly well. And I look forward to whatever you come with next year. That would be great to see.
One more thing that I would like to mention since I'm here. So we have our own convention as well.
Okay.
So Origame is hosting Asian Board Game Festival, because we believe, as I mentioned, we believe very strongly in Asian games and Asian stories. So end of November, we'll have our own Asian Board Games Festival. Hoping to have a few thousand people there to come out and just try all the different games from around Asia. So yeah, anyone watching this, very welcome to come to Singapore. Hoping to have it every year as well.
That would be great, and I think for other companies looking for licensing games and distributors, it would be the perfect place to have a huge amount of games that are so unique. Because I keep saying this, the best ideas right now are coming from Asia, not from Europe or the US. They really are coming from Asia. So, sorry, but the future is in Asia. That's it.
Yeah.
Daryl, thank you very much indeed, sir. Really, best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.